Here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. This is KnicksFanTV Live, reporting from the Quaker Ridge Country Club here in Scarsdale, New York. We are here for the second annual Dr. Dick Barnett Celebrity Charity Golf Event. CP the franchise here. My guy Jake Brown back with us.
What it do?
Special guest, Jake. A legend in our industry, a legend in our field. He's covered New York sports for every major platform you could think of. ESPN Radio, WFAN 660, MSG. And now he's the host of the Bill Daughtry Show on callsports.com, talksports.com. Bill Daughtry in the building, man. So let's kick it off. First and foremost, Bill, I just want to say it's an absolute honor to have you here with us, man.
Man, I was popping with that beat.
I was going to say, I was about to start dropping some bars real quick. I was close.
I was popping with that beat. But it's good to be here, man.
Yep.
It's good to be here. And CP, you were on our show a couple of Saturdays ago. Magnificent. Jake, I'm going to recruit him because I had his broadcast partner from the Amazing show.
Yep.
So I had Nelson on a couple of weeks ago also. So, Jake, just make sure you got some time.
Good to meet you in person, bro.
You know, the pleasure's all mine, man. I want to be on the big show, one of those Nick post games, man. Call me at home, and we'll make that work.
Hey, listen, as long as we've made the connection, it's nothing but a phone
That's
call.
what I'm saying, because you're going to be on again on callsports.com.
Absolutely.
Just book it.
Callsports.com.
Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it.
Absolutely. So we are just about a week away from the start of the 2022-2023 Knicks season. Knicks in Indiana tomorrow night for the second to last preseason game. Let's talk about some of the storylines this season. Obviously, it starts at the top. It starts at the point. You know, Jalen Brunson coming in from Dallas. You know, a kid of the program. With his father, Rick Brunson, having played for the Knicks, played under Tom Thibodeau, came up with this organization. What are your expectations for Jalen Brunson this season?
If I see what I saw in the opener against Detroit and what we saw again against Indiana, Jalen Brunson is the perfect antidote for everything that Knicks fans have been missing at the point guard position for the last 20 or so years.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows how to create. He's a good passer. You know, what's bugging me about all of the preseason conversation about the Knicks, when you talk about their best players, somebody seems to have it burned in that their best players have to be two-way players. No, they don't have to be. Jalen Brunson, marginal defender, that's fine. Obi Toppin, marginal defender, that's fine. They know how to get in the way. They ain't going to stop you. They ain't going to be on the ball and all that. They'll rebound. But their contributions on offense, that's what this team is going to be about. Now, I think the challenge for Tom Thibodeau in this season is to find the five guys that he trusts to have on the floor to defend when the game is on the line.
Yeah.
That's what I really think this season is all about, and that's where they're going to fly or fall.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And with Brunson, you know, he's already come here, and the organization is trying to quell expectations. He has as well. He said, I'm not the savior, so just temper those expectations. But the thing is, Bill, is that when you see him out there on the court, the impact is noticeable. Even in the preseason, as I talked about on my show last night, the first play of that Detroit Pistons game, drives into the paint, gets a tough shot over three defenders.
Yep.
His efficiency inside the lane is something that we just never had. And from there, because of the attention that he commands on his drives, he can kick it out. And there's RJ waiting for a three, Fournier waiting for a three. RJ's shot looking a lot better, especially in the preseason. It's early, but his shot's looking good. He's going to need to be efficient from catch and shoot. But, you know, Brunson's impact offensively on his drives is noticeable. And you mentioned defensively, while he's not going to be a stopper by any stretch, I see him competing.
He's competing
out there.
He does enough. I call it get in the way defense.
Yeah.
Just make something change.
Right.
Don't get caught out of position. Just make something change. You don't have to block a shot. You don't have to get a steal, but make the offensive player do something that he didn't want to do or wasn't expecting to do. That's good defense. That's how you start to play good defense. Yeah. And when you get five guys in concert, there might be one standout or two standouts if you're real lucky on the defensive side of the basketball. But as long as you can alter the plan of the other team or at least get in the way of what they're trying to do, that's good defense.
Bill, Julius Randle went from the most improved player to essentially booing the fan base back last year. And, fans were pissed off at him. He was pissed off at fans. What do you expect now from Julius Randle? Does he get revenge? Does he look like the player that he was that led the Knicks to the 4 seed?
The answer to both is no and no. This is going to be a transition year for for Julius, whether he wants it or not. I don't know if you saw the game against Indiana the other night. Obi Toppin changes things. He changes things when he steps on the floor. Mm-hmm. He changes the way his teammates play. He changes the way the opposition looks at them. He changes the whole demeanor in the building, but he's been able to do that ever since he came into the league. Yeah. But this thing, it's just a transformation when he steps out on the floor. And the game he had the other night against Indiana, I'm on Twitter a lot at Silver16C7. It's a car. So, I'm on Twitter a lot. Yeah. And somebody was talking about, that's hating putting Julius's line up there. I said, no, that's not hating unless you put Obi's line right next to it.
Right.
Because, Julius had a decent line. He had 17 points, 7 or 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Okay, that's great. But when you put it next to Obi's line, Obi was 14 for 16, something like that, 4 of 7 for 3. That doesn't equate to 14 for 16, but he was 4 of 7 for 3, and these weren't, what am I going to do with the ball threes? This was spot up, top of the circle, bang. On the wing, bang. In the corner, bang. He was shooting threes and knocking them down.
Shooting it well.
Okay?
Shooting it well.
He does what he does around the rim. He only had 3 rebounds, but I'm not going crazy with that. He had 24 points and was 14 of 16 from the field. Yeah. Do you not understand what is happening here? And then all the other ancillary things that go on around him being in the game, it's coming up on decision time. Julius Randle doesn't have that same effect.
That sounds like you want to trade Julius.
No, I don't want to trade Julius. Julius is a valuable commodity on this team. He's a solid veteran. He's a smart veteran. He contributes on offense. Yes, sometimes he slows down the ball and all that kind of stuff. And I still say, hey, start him. Yeah. Let Obi come off the bench. But at the end of the night, let me see 30, 35 minutes for Obi Toppin.
I would love to see it, Bill, because as you said, number one, they just play faster with him.
Yes.
Which is something that they need. You have a guy like an R.J. Barrett out there who excels in transition. Obi, that's his game. It is transitions, getting out, running. It's cherry picking for baskets. It's catching the lobs. The Knicks need simpler ways to score. In the half court, past couple of years, they've been a terrible half court team. Bottom 10 in the league in offense over the last 4 years in offensive efficiency. He is their efficiency. He helps them get those easy buckets. And as you said, he's shooting the ball much better now. His defensive awareness is better now.
He wants it.
It's going to be a decision time for Tibbs, man, because anything less to me than 20 minutes is going to be criminal. And if Tibbs doesn't want to play them together, that's been the problem. He does not want to play them together.
He doesn't like the metric.
He values rim protection, so he wants Robinson out there. We'll see what Hartenstein is going to bring off the bench. You even have Sims in the third backup role. But if they're not going to play together, then Julius's minutes is going to have to come down.
Again, like I said, you see the effect when Obi steps on the court. Something happens.
Yeah.
Something happens to everybody in the building. Teammates on up to the top row of the cheap seats.
Right.
But they like to play fast. They're a young team. I'm curious to see Quentin Grimes this year.
My guy.
I want to see what Quentin's going to be like with this foot. Now, is he going to be an off-injured kind of guy, or is he going to be a guy who's going to get over this thing and get out there and play? Right. But here's my final thought on Obi. And I think I discussed it with you. Why don't they look at the prospect of him playing some 3? You put Obi at the 3, Julius at the 4, and Rob at the 5, and you play Quentin and RJ up top. That's a big team.
Yeah.
Okay, and that creates some mismatches because all those guys are able on offense. But here's my thing on Obi. When you talked about Connie Hawkins, when you talked about Julius Erving, when you talked about Dominique Wilkins, and what the heck, I'll even throw Tracy McGrady in there. You didn't say a damn thing about their defense.
Right.
Stop it. Yeah. Stop nitpicking his game. Understand what you have as an offensive commodity and go to it and use it, and use it to help take your team to the next level. I'm done.
And we had former Nick Derek Harper on the show, and we were asking him about, what about the defensive liabilities on the team. He said, listen, you got to play to your strengths. And whatever that is, you go to it. We talked about, playing a bigger front court. That's what J.B. Bickerstaff did with the Cavs. He had Lowry marketing in at the 3. Try something new. Try to innovate a little bit. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But, Tibbs at sometimes just seems so textbook in his ways. I don't think the Leopard's going to change his spots.
I think he's going to be a little different this year just from the construction, the content of his roster. He likes to play veteran players. Well, let's see. Aside from Randall, Rose, and Fournier, everybody else on that roster has less than 5 years of NBA experience.
Right.
You got to have 5 guys on the floor. We only mentioned 3. So there are minutes to be had. And I think guys like Quickly, who have been in the program long enough, guys like Grimes, who has been in the program long enough, even Deuce McBride, because coming out of Summer League, I said, Deuce looked real good in Summer League. He looked outstanding. But when you look at the makeup of this roster, whose spot is Deuce taking? Who is and I'm sorry, he's a good enough defensive player, but I can't make him a defensive specialist. I don't have that kind of space in my roster. So, they've got some decisions to make, and I'm real curious to see how they're going to treat the Deuce McBride situation.
Deuce is only going to play if there's an injury. I mean, straight up. If there's no injuries, Deuce is probably going to be in the G League.
And I agree.
Not make the roster. Where are you in the Tibbs train? What is his leash this year? If they start off 5-17,
if they start off 5-17, I think he's gone.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any space for the Knicks to be any more than 3 or 4 games under 500 at any point this year. I just don't think they have that kind of cushion because, first of all, you got to remember, again, you're dealing with a young team. And if they're learning about losing early, boy, that's going to be a tough paradigm to reverse as you go down the road. Tibbs has been an effective coach. He was effective in Chicago. Even though Derrick Rose continued to get hurt, a friend of mine who's here today calls him the butcher. I said, come on, man, Derrick Rose came back to him, not once but twice. So, Rose has some affinity, some admiration, some respect, and likes to play for him. So that means a lot to me in itself. But what happened in Minnesota, it's like, dude, you had the keys to the city there. You could have done whatever you wanted to do, and how'd that work out? He started off, great guns here. I get what happened last season. And most people, what you got to understand is young teams, when they have a breakout year, the next year they're going to take a step back. They're going to take a step back. That's just natural. So, okay, they've had that season. Now, here it is, year 3. Now, I think after people have seen these first 2 exhibition games, I think they have expectations that they did not have going into those games. And one big difference I see in fans this year, and I'm going to say this publicly, I was embarrassed for the way Knicks fans behaved during the preseason last year. It's like we were playing for a playoff spot. Come on, man, it's the preseason. Who was that last preseason game against? Was it against Atlanta?
Last year?
Yeah. It was a close game. It was at the Garden. The Knicks
or maybe
won.
The Wizards. Was it the one with Randall hit the buzzer beater against Wizards?
Yeah,
I think it was Wizards. Yeah.
Whoever it was. I mean, the Knicks fans acted like they just won the Eastern Conference Championship. It's like it's preseason.
I hate
What are you
preseason.
doing? What are you doing? Knock it off, And so from the 2 games that I've seen this year, it's like, okay, I think people are back in the proper lane now. I think they've got the right perspective on it. And I think a lot of that is because they're uncertain about what these youngsters are going to do. But after that Detroit game, they got a boost. After this Indiana game, they got another boost. What I want to see now, I want to see the Knicks perform in some adversity. I want to see them how they're going to play.
Hey, next Wednesday it'll be it in Memphis in the Grindhouse against John Morant.
Even before they get there, I just want to get a sense. I hope they fall behind like 10 points in Indiana tomorrow night, just so I can see. How are they going to respond? What is Tibbs going to put out there on the floor?
So far.
Wipe the floor with both of those teams, as they should, because those teams are young teams. Those teams they're still very much finding their way. You can't make the same claim about the Knicks. The Knicks have had time to put this thing together. They've had time to see what they want to be, how they want to play. So, the Knicks are in I'll put it this way. the Knicks are one notch below teams like Brooklyn, teams like Miami, teams like, dare I say, Milwaukee, teams like
Philly,
the defending champion Celtics, teams like Philadelphia. And right now, even though everybody wants to elevate Cleveland to this exalted place, I'll say the Knicks are on the same level as Cleveland because, like Cleveland, they got to prove it.
Yeah.
They got to prove it. But when you go down their roster, when you look at what they've just done in these first 2 preseason games, you see some things to get excited about.
Absolutely.
CP, that's a hot take there. He said the Knicks
that
are on the
is a hot
same
take.
level as Cleveland, who just acquired the guy that we were trying to get.
Yeah.
I was with his
Donovan
dad the
Mitchell.
other night, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
They didn't get him. That's a hot take,
Well,
Bill.
now let me
I like that.
Let me ask you a question. Regardless of who they gave up, how much better would the Knicks be with Donovan Mitchell than they are right now?
A couple seats higher,
right,
I think.
Right now, because they would have had to have given up a lot.
They would have given up
They
some
would have
people.
given up a lot of depth.
And I'm not even
They would have
talking
given up
about
a lot of
draft
depth.
choices.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That team, you wouldn't really know what that team's capable of until a couple years down the road when they
Yeah.
make another trade to add to a Mitchell, and hopefully, RJ would have been here if that wouldn't have went down. But, with Cleveland, I think it starts with the Twin Towers, Darius Garland. You have all-stars there. I think Evan Mobley is going to be a generational talent. I think he's going to be superb. I don't see much depth on their bench just yet. Yeah, Kevin Love is there. They could use some depth there, but I think defensively with those two guys, with Allen and Mobley, I think they'll be able to cover up a lot of the weaknesses with Garland and Mitchell at the top.
Let me put it this way. What kind of tough roster decisions will Cleveland make compared to what we just talked about with the New York Knicks?
Yeah. I mean, half of they already traded, half of their picks over to Utah.
Yep.
So you're banking on, again, Mobley taking that next step. You're banking on the chemistry between Garland and Mitchell taking off. But things can change, Bill. I always say that. Things can change so quickly in the East. You see the turmoil that the Celtics are going through right now, not just with the coach, but Gallinari going down. He was supposed to add to their depth. You have Robert Williams, who hasn't recovered from his injuries last year.
They're a different team with him.
Right. He's their anchor on the defensive end. Chicago Bulls, without Lonzo Ball, I think they're coming way back to the pack. I think they're going to be hovering around playing with the Knicks, and so it's going to be an interesting race.
I'm one of those people. Why not us?
Yeah.
Why not us? I'm not totally sold that Brooklyn has let the scab totally heal.
Right.
And what's it going to take to knock it off and start bleeding again?
Will they trust each other? Will they buy into the coach, who supposedly Kevin Durant wanted to fire?
I don't know,
so
man.
What's going on
you got to explain to me how you get over. Okay, I'll give you 2 examples. Okay, what happened with Golden State when Draymond was informed he couldn't swim in the Jordan pool. Right. Okay, that nonsense. And then what happened with the Nets? What's easier to put behind you? A moment where a guy loses his mind and knocks the hell out of a teammate, or you got your star player saying, I ain't coming back if the coach and the GM are here.
It's crazy.
And nobody left.
The thing is, though, it's like we've seen that type of adversity with championship teams, right?
Yes.
The Bulls went through it. Scotty and his riffs. Michael Jordan, he's punching Steve Kerr out.
Lakers.
You see it with the Lakers. Kobe and Shaq had their friction.
Yep.
Miami had their friction. LeBron and Spoelstra, things of that nature. But they always seem to bounce back and be galvanized as the season progresses. With the Nets, you just don't know what is their culture, what is their character, who's the leader in the locker room.
I think it's KD.
Guys?
It's probably KD.
Yeah.
Because nobody's looking to Kyrie to lead.
No.
Nobody's looking to Kyrie to lead.
Yeah, they might be looking at him to leave. You never know. And 1 week he might be here, next week he might say, you know what, I'm just going to take a break.
They'll be at someo's bar mitzvah next week and miss the game.
And they have the X factor of Ben Simmons, who I hope plays very well for them. But you don't know. There's just so many uncertainties. And just as a team and as an organization, and I don't think I'm overstating this, I think the Knicks are just on a better path. They got a better idea what they were going to do. They spent all summer talking about Donovan Mitchell, and then when it didn't happen, okay, it's not going to happen. Our roster is intact. We signed our best player to a new contract. We brought in another guy. We gave another guy an extension on their rookie deal, stuff that hasn't happened around here in 20 years.
A long time.
So there's 3 guys, Brunson, RJ, and Mitchell Robinson, they're getting paid now. So the expectation, the weight on them changes.
Yeah,
and as long as all 3 of them are healthy, we've seen what RJ can do. We've got a taste of what Brunson can be. We know what we want Robinson to be, and he can be that if he stays healthy.
Sure.
So, I mean, there's just people can say what they want. He's crazy. You don't know what he's talking about. But for me personally, I think there's a lot to like about the New York Knicks.
Let me just hit a reset real quick. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Let's get those likes up. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. KnicksFanTV live from the Dr. Dick Barnett Celebrity Golf Classic. We are here with the legend, broadcast legend, Bill Daughtry, talking some Knicks, man. If you guys want to call us up, the phone lines are open, 657-383-1509, or you can hit us up on the KnicksFanTV Discord. We'll be here with a number of guests. But, Bill, we had to kick it off with Bill. It was only right.
I appreciate you, man, because I got some official duties here today.
How long you been doing this, Bill? How long were you on ESPN Radio?
I was on ESPN Radio for 11 years.
And how long you did radio in total?
Radio and television in total, 45 years.
Wow.
Sheesh.
Wow. That's a long time, ain't it?
And now you're doing this podcast, right?
Yeah. Some guys who used to be students of mine at St. John's University, I used to teach over there. They were very successful in their own right. They worked for Joe Buck for many years, spotter, statistician. They know the culture. They know the people. They know the business. They call me up. I'm sitting in my basement minding my business. They call me up out of the blue. Look, we're going to start this new project. It's called thecallsports.com. Our money is good. We got a good guy. The head of it is a guy named Ed Carroll who worked for American movie channels for about 35 years. He ran the joint. And so, I don't know, when he decided to leave, he got a golden parachute or whatever, and he wants to put his money in his endeavor. He's a good dude. He's a real good dude. He's not busting anybody's chops. As a matter of fact, he likes the people that work for him. He appreciates what we're trying to do. He knows our limitations and is responsive to what we need. I think we're going to be all right in the long term. But like with any startup, when you first started doing this, you had some stuff you had to work out. When you started doing the Amazing But True podcast, you had some stuff to work out. There's always things to work out. But anyway, these guys called me. They said, this is what we're going to do. We'd love to have you be a part of it. They said, okay. They said, whatever days, whatever shifts you want to work, it's up to you. The money we'll talk about, and they took care of me on the money side. So I said, okay, I'm doing it from my house. It's like it's great.
The industry's changed, CP.
Yeah.
Since Bill was on the radio, everyone's got
about it now?
Guys like you are changing the industry, and you're changing it in a very positive way because we are leaning away from mass media. We've been leaning away from that for a long time. And now we have a society that wants what they want, when they want it, the way they want it. So what better vehicle than a podcast? What better vehicle than YouTube? What better vehicle than Instagram and TikTok and all these other venues where people can post content, where people can provide content. It's not about that cable bill and turning on and going to a certain channel anymore. We were just I was talking with a friend of mine who I'm playing with today. He says, unless you pay some cable company a couple of $300 a month, and I'm still one of those, you can't see MSG anywhere. Right. So it's like the world is changing. The broadcast world is changing, and you guys are positive change in that world. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here. So, I mean, this is where it's been going, and now we're starting to come. I don't want to say an apex, but we're starting to come up that mountain now. And you guys are slowly but surely starting to take over. I'll give you a little inside information. Part of our strategy at the Call is to get online influencers, to have people who have huge followings like you guys do, because we can piggyback off of that, because the people who are following you in social media and are following you in online media, well, those are the people that have shown that willingness. And so who better for thecallsports.com. Working on an app, by the way, because I know we like to punch one button and make it happen. Yeah.
So just a final question. I mean, what advice would you have for us? 40 years deep in the game, what advice would you have for us and those aspiring content creators?
Pay attention to detail. Be ambitious as you are. Believe in what you're doing and keep doing what you're doing.
There it is.
I don't care what kind of show you're doing. If I mean, be curious, man. When I was growing up, people would always talk about, people in the business would always, I never saw Babe Ruth play. I said, I never saw him play either, but I can tell you about him.
Yeah.
And now it's easier than ever to get information. Before I go, I just got to ask a question. How many of y'all like jammed an ankle or twisted a knee trying to do the fallback baby jumper. Come on now, tell the truth. Because, I mean, what Dr. Barnett used to do when he was out there with Clyde and DB and Bill Bradley and Willis Reed, him and Willis were the only lefties on that team.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the stuff that they did was magical. And I tell anyone, I've known Walt Clyde Frazier since I was about 14, 15 years old. And I tell people, before he came to the New York Knicks, I did not give a tinker's damn about basketball. I didn't care. But once this guy got here with his Pumas and old TVs, you couldn't see sweat. And he was just so cool. And all of a sudden, damn, we beating Boston now. Come on, man. That's when it all changed. And Dr. Barnett was a huge part of that. He was a huge part of that. So, you know, that's why I can sit here and talk with you guys now, because I watched them. They raised me.
Yeah, you know, I've talked to so many Knicks fans from that era who said they used to emulate Dr. Barnett in the backyard and Clyde.
You try to do that
they had the
fallback
Puma
baby
Clydes
jump.
and everything. So, you know, those memories are long-lasting, man. But, Bill, this is a memory in its own.
Come on, man.
We definitely appreciate
I'm
you
just
joining
trying
us
to help
today.
the
Bill,
team.
you paved the way for us. We appreciate what you
just
did.
trying
I
to
love
help the
listening to
team.
you. I mean, you're like Keith Sweat of right. You got the voice, the soothing voice. Like
Sweat.
I wanna hear you sing to me. Like come on, or at least a lovely lady. I don't know. You got the voice.
Oh yeah.
I interviewed Keith Sweat once, and he said the girl was like having nothing of it, and then he played one of his songs or sang one of his songs.
School was out.
Immediately, clothes started coming off, and it was over.
It was just a mess.
Bill Daughtry.
Bill
ladies and
Daughtry,
gentlemen.
woo!
Thank you.
Much
love.
appreciated.
Thank you.
Good luck out there, Bill. Good luck
I'll
out
lose
there.
a few balls.
Knicks win total, quick. How many? Seed.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, come
I'm not
on.
doing that.
Conservative.
I'm not doing that.
He's
I'm not
conservative.
doing
Playoffs
that.
or not?
Playoffs.
Let's
Definitely.
go.
Okay, all right.
We'll
So
take
I'm
it.
talking 40 plus.
You
We're
know?
talking 40 plus.
Hopefully they do as well as they did 2 years ago.
All right.
And I think they have potential to be better than that.
Wow. There
Okay.
it is.
They're a deeper
There it
team,
is. I like that.
deeper, more experienced. We'll see.
Yeah.
Playoffs
There
it is.
ladies and gentlemen.
Bill Daughtry.
Thanks again,
I
man.
fade this thing so they don't hear it slam down when I get up.
Huh?
The
Oh, yeah, I
headset.
got you.
There you go.
Yep. Bye. Yeah.
Professional.
There it is, man. There it is.
Thanks, Bill.
Always working, man. Bill Daughtry, ladies and gentlemen. Just watch you step right there, Bill. Okay. Oh, all right. Okay. Now we're still live. Still live and direct. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys.
Love Bill. You know, I listen to him and a lot of these guys. You know, I grew up on Mike and the Mad Dog, but you switch over to ESPN Radio and you hear guys like Bill Daughtry, and those voices and those personalities inspire you.
Legend, man. We have another one of our favorite guests from last year. Our guy.
He's got the best glasses in the game
yeah,
right
yeah.
now. What are these?
A
Let's see.
true OG.
Privé Revo. All right.
A true OG in the game.
Yeah,
Wes
I won't be playing it
Matthews.
though. This is only to see.
Wes Matthews Sr. in the building. Wes, how you doing today, man?
Everything's well. All is well.
Yeah.
Excuse my voice, but everything's well.
Yeah, not a
My
cloud in the
coaching
sky,
voice.
man.
I've been coaching.
Oh, you've been coaching,
Yeah.
what age?
I do all high schools. I do high schools, middle schools.
Okay.
My personal training, pretty much business I'm doing now.
Is that up in Connecticut?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
in Bridgeport.
Bridgeport.
Connecticut, for sure, for sure.
Okay. That's what's up,
We
man.
got water for you here.
That'll work.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Thank you very much. So,
You got something in this water or straight water?
Pour a couple shots in there, maybe. Start
Yeah.
the day off right.
absolutely, man. So,
5 o'clock somewhere.
yeah. So give us your thoughts on the Knicks, man. They bring in a Brunson, they bring in a Hartenstein, and coming off of a disappointing year. How do you feel about the team this year?
I like the direction. Now it's just a matter of putting it all together. Hopefully they have a very, very, very disciplined training camp. As you know, Thibodeau's a tough dude. Defense first.
Yeah.
So if they come in and they check the Eagles at the door and everybody has the same mission, it should be a good year. I know New York's desperate for a good year, but it's just a matter of if they bring in hard hats every day, go believe in the system, and let's go.
Yeah. Does Brunson remind you of a play that you played with in back in the 80s?
Yeah, Brunson has a lot of John Lucas in him.
Interesting.
Being left side,
Yeah.
very crafty,
Very
can
crafty.
score,
Yeah.
can set other people up, make other people better. That's the big thing they need right now is making everybody else better and holding everybody accountable.
Yeah.
Because the game's changed. Players don't want to work as hard. They don't think they have to work as hard. They're going to get paid regardless. But
Yeah. The hunger has left the game.
some of the drivers is out the window.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Can you tell your son to suck this year so the Knicks are better? Can the Bucks not be that good so we could be better? I mean, they're another championship contender yet again. He's got to be having just a blast out there. I mean, maybe not as much to do in Milwaukee as New York, but you can win championship there.
Well, that's his main objective right now is to be close to home and not a lot of traveling. He's been up there 14 years now, so he's a pretty veteranized as to know what he wants and where to go. He doesn't have to play the free agency game no more.
Yeah.
But he's excited. I mean, the Bucks are the Bucks. I mean, it's just a matter if their direction is there and their drive is there and their willingness to stay within the system.
Yeah.
It's all Bud. I mean, they're going to go as good as Bud coaches.
Yeah.
If Bud coaches a great team, a great way, they'll be all right.
Yeah.
But that goes for all coaches. I mean, well, now you got course management, load management, all this so iffy, all this stuff that you got to put into consideration in today's basketball compared to when we just played.
But it has to feel good, though, as a father. I mean, last year at this time, we were talking about how Wes Matthews Jr. was trying to get himself back into the league, got back in with the Bucks, and now signed another deal with them. So it has to feel good for you and the family.
Oh, no question. We were never in doubt. It's just a matter of him. What we talked about is for every day that you're not in camp, that is a healthier day for you, so you can recover a lot better now. You don't have to worry about running into camp and getting banged up in camp. So, I mean, it's a great situation. Don't think that you won't get back in. Just be ready when you get back in. And it's been a treat for the last 14 years to watch my son play in the NBA, and it would be really great to see him to get that chip, or at least to play for it.
Yeah, sharing that experience with you, man. That'd be incredible. We're talking to Wes Matthews Sr. So to everybody in the chat, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. KnicksFanTV live from the Dr. Dick Barnett Celebrity Golf Classic. Now, you spent a lot of time with the G League team, Westchester, into Bridgeport. They do have Deshaun and Job as the new coach. You have some players that'll be coming in. Ferron Hunt will be likely coming back. Micah Potters, things of that nature, players of that nature. What's been your observation of how things have been running up there?
Honestly, I think the Knicks are doing a great job. I think to be straight blunt, I think they need to get some basketball-minded people and use some of us Connecticut pros to really help promote their situation down there. They're in our backyard. We put a team together last year to try to help them to get acclimated into the city. And I think they got to do a better job of that. Just coming into the city, get to know who's who, run with the big wigs. That's from Bridgeport. But, because from the jump, we told them there's a ton of Knicks fans. And what would have been a great way for them to kick off this year if they would have got a Nets game over there, a Nets exhibition game. You got to come over, let the people know you're there. You just can't come in and they hear about you.
Right.
You got to get into the trenches, get into the schools. Trust the Boys and Girls Clubs of Bridgeport. And the city will back you. I mean, we're like I said, everybody down there is a Knicks fan, so why not?
Yeah.
Bring a couple fellas over, let out. The brand of basketball is excellent. Our arena gives them exactly what they need to stay professional and be professional about it. Wasn't nothing wrong. The Armory was the Armory, but Harvard Yards is a pretty sexy building to attract players over and to keep the players happy.
So maybe just a little bit better marketing.
Let's get this marketing thing right. If we get the marketing thing right. And,
hey, well, let them know. Me and Jake will come on and get on the ones and twos, do some play-by-play of a game.
They can use the whole shebang. That's what I'm saying. They didn't come over with the team. They didn't bring the dance teams. They didn't bring nothing, man. I mean, they just came over like thieves in the night and said, we're here, we're playing basketball, and we're out.
Right.
I know that. I lived in Trumbull for 10 years, and I could see that happening there in Bridgeport. You got the Merrick Canteen, you got the mall down the street. There's things to do out there. Let's make it happen, CP. Come on.
We got Boca Restaurant right across the border. I mean, you could come on a ferry. I mean, Bridgeport's a hot market. It's just a matter if they just come in and, like I said, do the right thing.
The Last Dance was something that you had commented on. What did you think, that took the internet and the world by storm over COVID? You were part of those teams that played against Jordan. What did you think of The Last Dance and how, Pippen was portrayed and Jordan was portrayed?
I'm never a dude. I'm old school. Don't air your dirty laundry in the public. I guess it sells. It's sold. I mean, he put it out at the right time. But some things just don't need to be said.
Yeah.
I mean, some stuff is just locker room stuff. It's not to be sold. And I love Mike. Me and Mike never had a problem. So I have no problem with him doing what he did. But just the spin-off that's coming off it is just, come on, it's just ugly, bro. We don't need that right now. We need love. This country needs love. We don't need to be talking about who's doing this and who's doing that. That's not more important.
Yeah.
Gas is $6 a gallon.
Yeah,
That's
right. We got bigger
for
fish,
us regular
fish to
people.
fry, man. and you mentioned keeping things in house in the locker room, but last week we saw the Draymond Green, Jordan Poole stuff leak out to the public, man. How did you react to that? Because during your days, that was almost a daily occurrence, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that was every single day.
that was every day. That was
No one
every
at
day.
TMZ intern was getting paid 120 grand to
Right.
leak videos back in your day.
Right.
We'd have beat the TMZ dude up, too. Give me that video. What's wrong with you? This ain't going nowhere. No, but it's, it happens.
Yeah.
It happens in all facets of life, all sports, relationships, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But you got to clean that up, man. I mean, glad it happened now. Get it over with now, and let's get back to business. Because if they're a championship bound, I've been in championship locker rooms. We don't have fisticuffs. We don't have some bad words said to one another. But at the end of the day, we love each other. We got to go to work.
Got to go to work.
I mean, this is over with now. Squash that.
And that's why, a lot of people, I was surprised to see a lot of current players and also former players saying that, well, there's no coming back from this. They got to do something. Somebody needs to get traded. How could Jordan Poole do this? How could Draymond do this? I'm saying, why couldn't they?
Well, that's because social media now is out there, and it changes perception. Now you got to explain yourself. Where before it was in-house, it stayed in-house. I mean, even if it was video, it still stayed in-house. Now you got to explain yourself. Two grown men can fix that. It don't have to kill an organization or somebody got to go. I don't think it was that bad. But in today's society where everything's under the microscope, everything's watching everything, they always cancel culture in somebody or want somebody's head or something ain't right or you said the incorrect pronoun or this and that. So, I mean, everything is just it's a different world right now.
Yeah.
Do you rock your rings around? Do you ever show off the bling?
Oh, yeah, I show them off when I go to certain places. Golf, I lose them too much. They don't work well in a glove.
Yeah.
But, no, I rock them.
Are they icy? Like, what kind of ice are we talking? 88 versus now? Not as icy. Right?
80s bling.
80s bling.
80s
Not this
bling.
bling right now. This bling right now, these dudes can sell those things and live happily ever after.
Wow.
What is it, like 200,000, 300,000 per ring now? We didn't spend $5,000 for a ring back in the day.
Was that the icing on your career, winning those? No.
No question.
No pun intended, but kind of there.
No question.
Because after that, you bounced around a little bit with the Hawks and then playing, at all different places. But was that like the capper for you?
Oh, no question. That was the ultimate for me. I could have retired after that and called it a day. But I just wanted to continue playing basketball. But the epitome of getting 2 world championships, being part of the greatest teams ever assembled, to still have relationships 35 years to this day with the same friends, same players, that's what champions do. And that's what I loved about the whole ordeal. Everything else after that, man, I was numb to it because I was a world champion.
Did you go out to Maui with them?
Yes, I was.
Oh, you did. How was that experience, man?
Bruh.
Right? It was Riley's idea. Whose idea was it to get the whole team back together?
It was Pat Riley and Magic and Jeannie Buss and the crew. They thought about doing something special, and it was before COVID we were supposed to go. And COVID shut the world down, and we couldn't go back in 2019. So we found the day opened up, and they said that we're putting the band back together. I said,
Out of there.
mark me in, man. I get to hang with the Cap every day for a week. Oh, no, without Kareem every day. I get to hang with the captain.
Well, what does Kareem mean to you, man?
Oh, man, Kareem means the world to me, man. That dude's a special man, special individual. totally misunderstood, but a gentle giant and a professional genius. That's what he is. That dude, his brain is different. He's different.
Did you
And
watch
his game was different.
that series, Winning Season, the HBO series about the Lakers?
Winning time?
Winning
No,
time?
I did not. I
It was
haven't seen
good. I like
I
it.
heard it was pretty good, if you're into that, but I haven't seen it because I'm a firm believer that if Perlman didn't talk to none of us and get no direction from us, if you weren't there, you could write all the good stuff you want to write, but you had to be there.
So wait, when Jeff Perlman wrote that book, he didn't interview any players?
Yeah, he wrote. He interviewed quite a few. I'm saying the movie script.
Oh, I
the
got you,
movie
got you,
side.
got
no,
you, got
no,
you.
he did a great job. The book,
Yo,
the book
right,
is
right,
way
yeah,
better.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
Jeff's my man. He
Okay.
called me like, I was surprised. Well, I'm still season 8 away because they're only in Magic's first rookie year.
Right.
But by the time you got to Showtime at 87, 88 teams, he didn't even get that far down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when Showtime was born.
Yeah.
It was 87, 88. So that's, it's down the road. He could call me. We could talk HBO. I ain't got no problem with that.
they could cut a few
HBO,
checks. I
cut
know
the
that.
check.
Give him a call.
the
Oh,
check, man. This
thirsty,
man
bro.
living.
well, CP, they got another season coming, right? I
Yeah.
thought they renewed it, so
Yeah.
it's got one more
They got a
season.
couple more,
So they
yeah.
might get to 88, I assume.
Yeah.
So
Eventually, if you
his
gotta
line
get
is
there,
open.
The line's open. Call me. Let's do this. I got Pat Riley as my agent, though.
We're talking to Wes Matthews Sr. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Going back to the Knicks, a lot of fans are hoping that they compete for a playoff spot or at least a play-in. Who do you think is going to be the X factor to help that team get there?
Wow. It's going to be collective, man. I don't see one person. It's going to be collective. I mean, everybody's got to be special.
Yeah.
Everybody has to have a special year at a special time with the same purpose. It would be bad for 3 of them to have a great year and the other 2 have a down year.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to be a balance. There's a balance. Everybody has to be as good as you could possibly be all year long. X factor would be staying healthy. That'll be to be for everybody, not just the Knicks, but just staying healthy and checking Eagles at the door. I mean, if they do those days, those are the X factors in any sport. So it'll be interesting to see how Thibodeau manages this new group.
You think Tibbs has a short leash? We talked to Daughtry, and he says that if they go 3 or 4 games under 500 at some point, that you probably got to fire him. What do you think his leash is?
That's kind of tight. I mean, the man's a true proven coach.
I think it's more like 10 games under 500 or worse.
If he goes 10 games on the 500, he kiss the baby goodbye. There's no coach that's going to last 10 games under. Because they're just pulling them. They're just pulling them fast. They're pulling fast. So, I mean, you can't afford that because you want to be up 10 on the plus than on the negative. Because on the negative, there's no coming back from that. I mean, teams will have to really just roll over for you to come get 10 back.
Yeah.
10's a big number.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he'd survive that. But, again, it just seems like just being around the team as I have from the summer straight through, they seem to still be rallying around him. He still has respect to the locker room. We'll see once adversity hits how they get tested and how they respond. But so far, it seems like the group is together.
Yeah, I think so. But back to your question about the X factor. My real X factor is my boy. It's Derrick Rose. If Derrick rocks out and they follow Derrick's lead, they'll go far because he's a true warrior.
Yeah.
And he brings it every single day.
No doubt.
And in the locker room, they're going to need to see that.
Yeah. And they spoke highly about him, his leadership. He's coming back at his rookie year weight, and so he seems to be motivated. I think health, as you said, one of the X factors will be key, especially with Derrick Rose. But, yeah, looking forward to it.
He's the elder statesman. I mean, he's 34 on this team, and a lot of them are 22. Like, he's getting his AARP benefits on this Knicks team when everyone else is just drinking legally for the first time like a few months ago. It's he's really got to carry West this leadership role to teach a lot of these young guys because – listen, this was a 41 team, a 37-win team. You got to be better this year. You can't regress from 37 after you go out and get a Jalen Brunson. And Derrick Rose, like you said, is a big factor in them getting there, because when they go on a 3-game losing streak, he's got to be the guy to say, we got this, we'll be good, and rally the troops.
No, he's a proven MVP, so I think he'll do. He's the key. He's the key because he's the wedge in between the coach and staff and the younger players, because the younger players could spaz out. They may not know the road of what it takes, and Derek can be that mediator.
Yeah.
So Tibbs doesn't have to do it. So they've been together, but him and Tibbs been together for years now.
For years.
So they know each other.
No question about it, man.
They trust each other.
Well, Wes, we'll let you get back to the practice screens, and it's always a pleasure, man. Hopefully we can do this again next year.
Always. One
right.
love.
Wes Matthews Sr., ladies and gentlemen.
Bridgeport, HBO, hit him up. Bridgeport, let's get this thing rocking.
Absolutely,
let's go.
Man. Thanks again, Wes. Good luck out there.
Blessings.
Wes Matthews Sr., hit that thumbs up button for you boys. KnicksFanTV live from the Quaker Ridge Country Club out here in Scarsdale, New York. Just watch your foot right in the schedule. All right, there we go.
A beautiful day here for golf, and I think we got an okay day last year, but it was windy. But today, it's just the sun is shining. I had to put suntan lotion on for the first time in like a month. You know, us bald guys, you don't put lotion on, they'll be serving you at the Red Lobster later in the day with some cheddar biscuits on the side.
Straight baked potato, man.
I'm excited about the Knicks. So Monday was like kind of my day to like recharge the Mets. I was in a state of depression.
Yeah.
Half of me was like,
tough, man.
Mets lost Sunday. I was there, and then Jets won. So I'm like, I had to do my Mets show, Amazing But True, then Gang's All Here. So I had to go from depression to happiness. Then with our guy Dexter did a Mets hit with SNY. Back to depression. So depression, happiness, depression. Now it's happiness. Knicks, what is it, 8 days away.
Yeah.
We are so close to the finish line. These preseason games are such a tease. I want to see Jalen Brunson in games that will count in the standings because I love the signing. I love his floater. I love his ability to create any kind of shot imaginable from three-pointer to a layup. And I want to see how the other guys revolve around him. This is a true point guard that the Knicks have lacked. He's going to play a lot.
10 years.
It's
10 years, man.
They've been bottom 4, I believe it is, bottom 10 in offensive efficiency the last 4 seasons.
Last 4 years.
Jalen Brunson has got to change that.
I think he will. I think he will instantly. And as I said, another person who will do that if he gets the minutes is Obi Toppin, just the way he's able to score so efficiently. But I think RJ's been looking good in the preseason, man. I got to talk about my guy number 9 because he's putting the work in. His shot looks smooth. We'll see how that, translates when the regular season starts. But he's going to have to knock down his catch and shoots off of Brunson drives. Hopefully Randall creates for him a little bit. Hopefully he finishes a little bit better. He looks pretty good on his drives and attacking the basket. I think RJ is going to be a key to their success this
22 years old, CP. He's still so young, and we see which direction RJ will go. Because when you're 22 and you cash out like he just did, getting 4 years, $104 million, it could go one of two ways. It could go check out, I just got paid. It's Friday night, I just got paid. Or it could go showtime. I am a star player, and I'm going to elevate my game. Consistency is the key for him. He was inconsistent at times last year. He's got to improve from the three-point line. He's got to improve as a consistent scorer every single night. There were nights he'd score 37, but then another night 12. Yeah. If he could consistently from the start of the year, remember he struggled at the start and then picked it up,
big time.
Consistently be a 23, 24-point per game guy and be more of an efficient scorer and a better shooter. I mean, put him with an improved Randall, with Jalen, with Mitchell. Please, Mitchell, make a free throw this year. I mean, my God. They paid Mitchell Robinson, another guy.
48% from the stripe.
Get that to 60. Hartenstein's a 68% free throw shooter. I want to see Mitchell Robinson get closer to 60, which is not asking for a lot.
Yeah.
So a lot of pieces are in place for the Knicks to have a playoff season, but guys got to be more consistent, more efficient, and guys got to take the next step like Mitchell Robinson. You're going to pay him like you did. He's got to be able to make a freaking free throw.
Got to. Because you don't want a hack-a-Shaq, a hack-a-Mitch situation, but I think having a Hartenstein who only shot 69% from the stripe, not so much better. I'm better than 48. But I think having a Hartenstein there gives you some options to, number one, space the floor a little bit better in crunch time. Get your guy. He's going to get you some hustle. He's going to provide you some energy. He may get you some rim protection here every once in a while, but he's going to be able to step out, shoot the mid-range. He can knock down a three, and he can pass it well. So I'm interested to see how they go, how they mix and match offense, defense down the stretch. Do you go with your traditional big and a Mitchell Robinson for rim protection, or do you try to get some more offense out there, provide some more space for Brunson to drive and attack, for RJ to drive and attack, and for Julius Randle as well?
You got finishers underneath the basket. Mitchell Robinson, 76% from the field. I believe that was like an NBA record. And you have Hartenstein, who's a 60% field goal guy, who's efficient. So if you just finish around the basket and have Brunson create and Barrett doubles, find the open guy, it's clear those guys know how to finish under the basket, whether it's dunk, layup, a hook shot, whatever it is. They have efficient scorers underneath. They need, no storylines from Julius Randle. I think that was a major distraction last year. Lindor Baez did that with the middle finger to the Mets fans, or the thumbs down, to Mets fans. There can't be any of these distractions because this is such a young team, and one or two distractions, and you go on a 7-8 game losing streak, and the season is over. This team can't go on a long losing streak. They got to put win streaks together. Anytime you lose two, you need a veteran like Derrick Rose to step up, CP. And, I think this Knicks team's going to sneak in the playoffs. I like them to be somewhere around the 9 or 10, the play-in team. I think their roster is good enough, but, again, we need guys to step up. But it's going to be close, and it's going to be interesting because one of the teams they're going to compete with for that play-in spot is the Pistons. Who do the Pistons have? It's it's the Detroit Knicks.
The Detroit Knicks, man. You got Alec Burks. You got Nerlens Noel. They haven't
Kemba
let go
Walker.
of Kemba. Kemba's still there. Who knows if he's going to play? Kevin Knox. Kev's not going to play. But, I like the veterans that the Pistons have added to their young core of Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. We're going to see them early for the Knicks home opener. And, adding a Bogdanovich to the group, I think it's going to help. Nerlens, if he stays healthy, he'll be able to help Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, some of that front court. So I think Detroit is trying to fortify their youth with some veteran presence. We'll see how far that takes them. But I think we'll be competing in a solid way for the play-in, and maybe even we get 6. Who knows? Because like I told Bill, things can change. Injuries change. Teams come back to the pack. Maybe it's a Miami Heat that comes back to the pack. Maybe it's the Nets that completely implode. Anything is possible.
CP, 6 is the ultimate ceiling. 6 is Randall is back to MVP form. Barrett takes the next step. Robinson makes free throws and improves, and Brunson is an all-star. That's the top of the mountain. The bottom is really probably the 11, but I think the realistic is 9 and 10. I'll disagree with Bill Daughtry. I don't think the Knicks are at the level of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
No, I wouldn't say.
And I look at their depth chart. Their bench is not bad.
It isn't bad. I said
LeVert,
Kevin Love. They
Osman,
do
Love,
have LeVert and
Robin
Rubio.
Lopez.
Rubio came back. Osman. Robin Lopez was a good pickup. So I misfired on that. Their bench is pretty good. They do have some depth there. But again, the key is going to be the chemistry between Mitchell and Garland. Are they going to be liabilities on the defensive end? And how does a Mobley and an Allen kind of cover up for them? And who plays at the 3? Is it going to be an Isaac Okoro who's going to get you a little bit better defense? Do they go with Karis LeVert to add some more offense in there? I think that's going to be interesting for J.B. Bickerstaff and his group. But nevertheless, I think Cleveland has a nice young squad.
Yeah, I think LeVert's going to kind of be the 6th man of that team along with Kevin Love. I mean, you have LeVert and Kevin Love coming off the bench. That's the recipe for a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference. The East is just stacked. The Knicks are in a tough spot because there's 9 or 10 good teams in this conference. And, the young guys, everyone wants the guys, Tibbs to play all the young guys. I don't see McBride getting any minutes unless, like I said, there's injuries. Quentin Grimes and Evan Fournier is going to be the battle we'll be watching for. The question is, can Grimes get significant playing time off the bench? And is there a point, and I know Knicks fans want to see it, that Grimes takes over for Fournier at the starting shooting guard?
Yeah, look, I think I said it last night on last night's show. I think Fournier is, he's going to be a placeholder for Quentin Grimes. And I think you'll see Fournier starting, but you will ultimately see Grimes closing games depending on what we need. Do we need a stop? Are we playing in Cleveland where you have a Garland and a Donovan Mitchell? You can't put Fournier out there in crunch time. You need Quentin Grimes out there to play defense. You might need a Quickly or a Rose if you need more shot creation. Let's say you're going up against an elite level defense, a Golden State, a Memphis, a Celtics, a Heat team that's very aggressive on ball handlers. You may need a little bit more shot creation and playmaking out there. So maybe you opt for a Brunson Quickly backcourt or a Brunson Rose backcourt. But again, if you need defense, it's going to be Grimes. So I think Fournier's spot as they close games is going to be up for grabs for those 3 guards.
You need a 3 ball. You'd rather have Grimes or Fournier out there?
I'm gonna go with Fournier just based on the experience, and he showed it. He's shown it last year. Look at the big threes that he knocked down against the Lakers, against the Celtics.
Yeah.
He made a lot, and I would opt for the veteran just because he knows what to do more in those pressure cooker situations. But nevertheless, Grimes could knock it down. Grimes has a cannon on him. Tibbs has been raving about him, and that's why I think it's only a matter of time before Grimes is in there locked in as a starter.
What do you think of Cam Reddish going into this year? Because he's a mystery to me. Like he's slated to essentially be the backup small forward. But what kind of minutes do you see him getting? We haven't got to see a lot of him because he's either been hurt, out of the rotation, whatever's going on behind the scenes with Tibbs. But he has a chance to get minutes this year. What do you think his role is going to be?
I think he's going to be the odd man out. Because I think Grimes is going to come in and play some 2, play some 3. You still have Derrick Rose. You still have Quickly, who are going to be there as well. I think Cam's going to be the odd man out, man. I don't see much minutes for him. He's had an opportunity here in the preseason with Grimes out, with Fournier getting rest. Hasn't looked so impressive. And, yes, it's only preseason, but the clock is running out. Time is running out for him. He needs to make an immediate impact. I think he's better served off of the bench, where he can kind of be more aggressive, be somebody that can impose his will out there rather than playing in a tertiary role next to Brunson, Randall, RJ, not even tertiary. He'd be like the fourth guy. He's just a role player in a starting lineup. And so, look, the potential is there, but potential can only get you so far. After a while, you've got to execute. And I always felt like the Hawks trading him was a buyer beware situation. Doesn't mean that he can't rebound his career somewhere else or rehab his career somewhere else. But I always felt like it was a buyer beware situation, and it seems like that's what it is right now. A lot of guys, I had Alan Hahn on the show a couple weeks ago, and he spoke about the people who he spoke to, question Cam's motor. And so we'll have to see. Anything can change. Injuries can happen. Maybe he shines in practice and Tibbs gives him a spot here and there in the rotation. But I think he's on an uphill battle. He's on an uphill climb.
What's your Knick win total? What do you think? I'm going to say 10 seed.
Yeah.
And around, I'll say 40 wins.
I said
40 and 42.
Yeah, I told Dexter 41. I slipped, or Brandon 41. I slipped on that one on SNY. 42.
Okay.
They won 137 last year. I think Brunson helps us get us 5 more. An improved R.J. Barrett. Julius Randle, a little bit less pressure on him. I say 42, and they're hovering around the play-in 7, 8, 9. I think they'll be right there.
I like that. I think this team is built to improve, and you got to watch out for a trade too. Like you said, Cam Reddish might be the odd man out. Maybe you package him with a Grimes for a disgruntled player on a bad team, whether it's like Indiana or one of these teams that has no chance really. Orlando, I don't know who yet. It's too early to say, but we'll see. There could be a trade in the works at some point.
Absolutely, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP the Franchise, Jake Brown on the 1s and 2s. We are here at the Quaker Ridge Country Club here, celebrating the Dr. Dick Barnett Charity Golf Classic, man. Always a good time, a beautiful venue. We heard from Bill Daughtry. We heard from Wes Matthews Sr. We're going to see if we can get John Starks in the building. I'm not sure because we're getting a little bit closer to tea time. They're having their opening ceremonies right now. So we're going to wait and see if we can get Starks. If we don't get Starks, we'll wrap up early. But if we do, we'll just hold out for a little bit. So
drbarnettfoundation.org. You can go down, donate.
drbarnettfoundation.org, man. Support a great cause. I've been working with them for a number of events now. This is our second golf tournament, the second ever that we're here for. And so, it's been a great opportunity. Definitely appreciate them for having us. Okay, let me go to the phones here, Jake. Let's hear from somebody. Area code 216. What's your name and where you tapping in from?
Big Mike, Big Europe from calling from Atlanta.
How you feeling, bro? What's going on?
I'm great, man.
Yeah. How you like the setup out here, man? We're live on location, man. Beautiful day out here in New York. How you like the setup out here, Big Mike?
Oh man, it doesn't get better than this, man. I'm a golfer, so I appreciate y'all being at the tournament there.
Yeah.
So feeling good, man. I really think that the key to our season is like this, like Wes said, it's going to be Rose. If Rose can stay healthy and really drive that second unit, I think our second unit can be better than most.
Yeah.
And with Randall cruising, with not having all the pressure on his shoulder, if he can maintain that 18-8 a night, I think that's going to be solid for us, man, and surprise the most that we'll be sitting right there at the end.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I agree with Wes as well. I think Derrick Rose is going to be a key, again, just for not only his offensive ability, because I think he still has it. He saw him in the preseason. He's scoring at will. He doesn't even need preseason, in my opinion, because the way he can pull up and make a jump shot, I think he's going to take. He himself has said he's going to take more jumpers. I don't think he's going to be attacking the basket as much to try to preserve himself. But the veteran presence going up against backup or second string guards, just having that savvy and that cunning to him, I think Derrick Rose is going to elevate that whole second unit. I think Quickly will benefit off of that. Quickly going into year 4 now, his game is slowing down for him. Quickly has improved in his playmaking, and I think he and Rose on the 1s and 2s are really going to elevate that second unit.
18-8. I like that. And I think an efficient 18-8. We don't want him shooting 27 times.
Right. He doesn't have to.
You want to shoot him 13, 14 attempts? Right. Is that a fair number to put it at, CP?
I think what we've seen in the preseason so far is that, yes, Brunson is going to orchestrate and control the game, control the tempo, and get guys involved. But Julius has been finding his spots where he can do his Julius thing. You're still going to need that. Just in certain spots. Now's the time with Julius. You don't need him to do everything. He doesn't have to be the point guard, the shooting guard, and the power forward. Just play your role. And, yes, every once in a while, we're still going to need you to go out there on the elbow and do your thing. Knock down a shot, create off of a mismatch, and do your thing. We're still going to need that from Julius. But now I just think with Brunson, Julius can be more under control.
Hey, one last thing, man. I'll let you guys go. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
CP, man, you're the man. I hope the best for you. But we can guarantee a top 5 spot if we ban the fans from coming in the Garden. We'll get that. We'll get that COVID. We'll get the COVID.
Get the COVID
back.
crowd.
Let's go.
Big Mike, appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, that's funny because Bill Daughtry in Atlanta. My brother lives in Atlanta.
Yeah.
He said about the crowd, the preseason game was, acting up or whatever. I factored in that was like the first game for a lot of people because if you couldn't afford to go to playoffs or, you weren't able to get in at that time, your first game was preseason. So that was like their NBA Finals for a lot of those fans. So maybe that explained why they acted up. But the Garden energy is something else. I love going to the Garden, bro. And I went to every Ranger playoff game, and the atmosphere was like, God, I want that Knicks playoff feeling back. I tell people all the time,
if I went to a live sport and I had to choose one, it's hockey, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch basketball and football at home. Football mostly. Hockey and basketball. But hockey, a live hockey game?
Hockey's different in person. I think hockey, baseball, basketball. Football I always like better on TV because you get all the
always
angles.
Better on TV.
Red zone, you get the different games, check your
football,
fantasy
I'm just
teams,
about the tailgate. Just give me a good tailgate, and then, you know what I'm saying? But football, much better on TV.
Yeah, but the Garden just has that special aura that needs to come back because that Knicks-Hawks series, the results sucked, but the building, and after that Game 1 win, and everything outside, bing bong, smoking that Boston pack, whatever, all that stuff was incredible. And that was actually the Boston pack thing was after opening night when the Knicks beat the Celtics in that crazy game. And remember, there were some special moments, but they just didn't amount to anything last season. That comeback against the Celtics was special. The R.J. Barrett buzzer beater. I mean, when those moments happen on a winning team, that's what they write documentaries about. That even if they don't win a championship, we're just craving a playoff team and a playoff series win. This team has lost more than any other team in the regular season in the last 22 years, and they've won one playoff series in 22 years. That has to change.
It's got to change.
It starts with this bunch. Get to the playoffs, and then see what happens after that.
Try to make some noise. I think that's well said, man. What time are you going to get involved?
I think I haven't golfed, I don't think, since the event last year. So this could be ugly.
This could be
I hope I'm with people that are suck too, because I'm going to make them so mad when I'm taking like my 12th shot.
I'd be like, yo, who brought this guy with us, man? Send him back to the table, man.
I said to my dad, can he send me clubs? Never did, so I'm borrowing someone's clubs, I guess. So we'll see. It could be ugly, but I'm just hoping to not pull a muscle. I made sure to stretch in the bathroom before, so I don't pull anything.
Man.
It's preseason mode right now.
Preseason mode, absolutely preseason mode. All right, we'll take one more, man, and then go ahead and hit the greens. Let's go to area code 813. 813, what's your name? Where are you tapping in from?
Hey, it's Rambo from Tampa, man. How you guys doing?
Rambo back in the building. How you feeling,
Rambo
man?
in the building.
How you feeling?
Man, I'm calling every time I can, man. I was on the replay game for a year and a half,
Let's
man.
go.
Y'all gonna hear my voice all year, man.
I think I said it the
Real
last
talk,
time you
man.
called, Rambo. I think I said, you know what? We're not going to hear the last from him. He's going to be a repeat caller.
Every game, man. Every game that I can get an opportunity to, man, because I just love what y'all doing, man. Y'all look good, by the way, too, man. I see y'all with y'all collars out there.
Yeah, man.
Great
Golf
weather.
attire, you know?
Man,
Great weather.
I appreciate what y'all got going on out here, man. So I'm just, I'm just calling in just to pay y'all respects and
Man,
just to
I
remind
appreciate
you
that.
RJ will be an all-star this year, man.
I hope so.
RJ will be an all-star this year, man. I see it. He gives me Derek Jeter vibes. Derek Jeter wasn't the best shortstop, but at the end of the day, he was the best to play the position. You understand?
Yeah.
So
well said.
So that's why I say that, man. But I didn't want nothing today, man. I just wanted to let y'all know, man, y'all looking good. Keep doing the good things y'all doing,
just
man.
to compliment
Every
the
time
set.
I can, I'm calling in.
There you go, man. Just to compliment the set. Rambo, we definitely appreciate the call.
Pretty fire set. I think the glass waters really make it.
Yeah, it's real regal. You know what I'm saying? It's real regal. We had to switch it up. No plastic. You know what I mean? So, Rambo, appreciate the call, man. Look forward to hearing from you tomorrow night as the Knicks take on the Pacers in Indiana, the penultimate preseason game.
I like that you got Tampa, you got Atlanta.
Yeah.
Someone's from Italy's calling next on the line.
We
You're
are worldwide,
international,
man. We are worldwide and international with this thing, man. So it's always a beautiful thing. I see Dre on the Discord. Dre, if you can hear us, go ahead and unmute your mic. Dre on the Discord.
Dr. Dre, are you there?
Dre going once. All right. Move Dre back there. Dre, if you can hear us, we'll get you back on the Discord. But what Rambo was saying with RJ, man, listen, 14 points per game in his rookie season, 17 in year 2, 20 in year 3. And as you were talking about, which player will we have this year? Will he be the one that's satisfied with the bag or one that maintains his hunger? I think it's the latter. RJ is hungry. He's putting in the work. He told me himself. And the thing about RJ is that he knows his weaknesses. He knows what he needs to work on, and that's what he's working on. That's what he's been working on.
I am more worried when it comes to he got the bag and might regress with Mitchell Robinson because of the immaturity that we've seen from Mitchell Robinson after games, calling out a coach, a sub-tweet, a tweet, a like, whatever it may be.
Little shade here and there.
Mitch has got to stop going to the shade room and get in the locker room. I don't know if that makes much sense, but put the work in the locker room and not the shade room. And if Mitchell Robinson could do that, and again, make free throws. He's the one I'm more worried. I think RJ's going to take that next step.
Yeah.
I really hope he does, but Mitchell Robinson as that rim protector, defender, and guy who could finish under the basket, I just worry that he got his bag and might get worse. But I'm not rooting for that. That's just my thought. I think he can be better and he can improve. He needs to hit the weight room. We'll see if he's going to be bulked up.
He seems like he's in pretty good shape this year.
Yeah.
As compared to last year, he's laboring with the foot, recovered from the foot, put on a lot of weight.
He had a foul trouble too. Every game he was like 5 fouls, foul out, 4 fouls, and you can't have that. I mean, I like Hartenstein, but no foul trouble and make free throws. That's going to be different. So I'm more worried about him. Barrett, I'm excited because he had the ability to shoot threes, which is what I was worried about. And once he started making threes, I'm like, all right, this could be something special. I didn't see it first year. Last year we saw it. So, you got your bag. Now let's get play a spot for RJ.
Get to it, man. All right, Dre on the Discord. Dre, if you can hear us, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hello?
Yep, loud and clear. How you feeling, man?
My bad, CP. My name is actually Vontae. I'm Vontae from Queens.
Okay, no problem.
Nah, I'm a long time listener. I've been listening after every game. I even got my girl. I wanted to bring her on the first time I called.
Okay.
But next time I call back.
Anytime.
I literally made her a Knicks fan. She watched every game for me. The first season we made the playoffs to the last season,
That's good.
But I'm just paying my respects because I've been listening so long from man.
Appreciate it.
But basically, I'm just calling to show respect. Also, I was just watching.
All good.
I seen
last two,
and I was like, you know what?
We'll take
it's
advantage of the
time,
time, man.
so
Let's talk about the team. What do you think about the team going into this season?
Man, listen, so much. I went to the last preseason game, and it was so crazy seeing how the team actually kind of was different now. And I feel like Jalen Brunson is he is our savior in different ways, though. Not the one we was looking for. He's our savior in a way. He put the pieces together with this team. He makes RJ and Julius do certain things that his impact is just so big. And
I
feel like we're making the playoffs this year. I'm sorry.
All right. So what's your win total?
I'll go from 42 to 45, honestly.
Okay.
I think that'll get us a 7. 7, 8 seed, but we could be surprised.
Yeah. Okay. All right, well, Dre, man, definitely appreciate the call. If you're in the area, man, tune in tomorrow night. I got a special announcement in regards to the Knicks opening night game against Memphis, man. So since you're in the area, you're somebody who could benefit from my announcement tomorrow night. So make sure you tune in to Postgame Live tomorrow night.
Definitely. All love, CP. I'm here. I'm always watching.
Appreciate it.
Support.
As Dre on the Discord. Salutes everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys.
Queens in the building.
Queens in
I
the
love
building,
Queens.
man.
As an Astorian myself, a Queens
Absolutely.
guy.
Shout
I
out
always
to
respect
Astoria.
Queens. I'm going to hit the links.
Let's go.
40 wins, 10
luck.
seed. Let's go, Knicks. CP,
Absolutely.
great job. Dr. Barnett Foundation, great job.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you having me here.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. It's always a pleasure, Jake. Look forward to doing it next year. And good luck out there on the greens. To everybody in the chat, listen, man, this is one of my favorite shows to do. I like to do these remote shows just to, bring the brand outside, set up in, nice environments and different atmospheres outside of the studio just to give things a different look. And listen, you should rewind back. We had the great broadcast legend Bill Daughtry on here. We had Wes Matthews Sr. Starks, it looks like Starks has hit the green. So what we will do is, after they're finished, later on this afternoon, if I catch up with John, what I'll do is I'll try to get him back on, and we'll just jump back live with myself and John Starks. But overall, we had a great program. Tomorrow night, Knicks versus Pacers, post-game live, the penultimate preseason game. I want to shout out TM in the chat. I want to shout out Shadow Slim Productions. Shout out to Gamba. Shout out to our social team, Tyler, Jared, JD, Alex, the whole team at KnicksFanTV.com. It's not a one-man show by any stretch, man. We have a lot of people that's investing their time into growing this brand, not just me. And so I got to give a thumbs up and a shout out to everybody, because it's a lot of work that goes into these things, a lot of work that goes into these remote productions. And so I got to tip my cap to them and for everybody who's believing in the mission, man, because this is truly a mission. And especially want to shout out the Rhyme Animal Chuck D, who's in the chat, never misses the show, who's live and direct with us right now in the chat room, always vibing with the people. He's a man of the people, and he's been one of the primary supporters of the Wave. So shout out to Chuck. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. So as I said, once we'll try to tap back in later on this evening. If we get John Starks, we'll set back up and do a quick interview with John Starks. But for now, I got to get something to eat. I got to go get some good lunch before they wrap things up. Go get a drink and recharge the battery, man. So once again, share this video for your boy. Hit that thumbs up button for your boy. And we'll see you either later or tomorrow night. KnicksFanTV, CP the franchise. I'm out of here. Peace. Oh, we getting the shot? Let's get that shot, man. I wish my golf game was nice, man. I go out there. I might just go drive a cart and just hold a vibe. But, yeah, that's it, man. Quaker Ridge Country Club. Once again, thank you to the Dr. Dick Barnett Foundation. We are here, second annual Dr. Dick Barnett Celebrity Golf Classic. Getting the view. We getting the ambiance, man. We are getting the ambiance. Beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. Give thanks for everything. And we out of here, man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yankees tonight. Let's go, Yankees. Let's get a win. Garrett Cole, earn your check. We need it tonight, man. Playoff time, pressure cooker time in the Bronx. I'll be locked in. I'll be dialed in. Looking forward to it very much so. Thanks again, everybody.